he manifested himself as Hiranyagarbha, brought to manifestation or became. So causal state with Ishvara, he manifested himself as Sutratma Hiranyagarbha. He further manifested himself as the Virat or Prajapati, and he further manifested himself as all these limbs. So you can imagine how the whole picture becomes clearer and clearer. In the beginning you find in the world picture nothing but, just one apaha, the primordial cause, with no differentiation, no clarity. Then at that time that we call Ishvara, all the potential is there but no manifestation is there. And then we find a general figure coming up. As Panchadashikara would explain, the adhishthanam is dhautam vastram, and so all there is that not even canvas, just the cloth, washed cloth. Next stage is you apply starch on that, So that's then, after starch, that becomes the causal state. Then you draw the outline. That becomes Hiranyagarbha, the subtle state. And then you start filling in all the different, details in there. You show the eyes and nose and everything else. All the anga, all the details are shown. That is the Virat, the total creation. So, it is one thing alone that just becomes evident or clearer and clearer. Not that something new is created. What is there? That potential just becomes evident. And so the stages of creation are nothing but the stages of becoming evident of what is potentially there. So this Mahatvam Vasamharati Anandagiri says Yasmanati. So Tat Satyam Brahma Kutaha Mahatva. So that Satyam is Brahma, that is being explained because Sarvasya Srashtu. It is great because it is creator of everything and therefore it pervades everything. So Yasmad Sarvamevam Kramena Satyad Brahmano Jatam Tasmat Mahat Satyam Brahma. Yasmad, since Sarvamevam Kramena Satyad Brahmano Jatam, since all of these is born of Brahman, that is Sutratma, Hiranyagarbha, which is called Satya, Kramena, in this order everything got manifested or born. Tasmat Mahat Satyam Brahma. Therefore Satyam is Mahat and therefore it is Brahma. So Satyam Brahma. Satyam is Brahma. Why? Because it is Mahat. Why is it Mahat? Because it is the creator of everything. And that is how this adjective or this epithet Brahma is now established here, is shown. The next is other one. Bhashyakara says, Katham punaha yakshamiti. Alright. So it is called Mahat, it is called Brahma. So Mahat and then Yaksham and Prasamajam. So three epithets were used there. Mahat, Yaksham, Prasamajam. Prasamajam because it is the firstborn. Mahat because it is the creator of everything else. And Yaksham, adorable. So we can understand that it is Mahat, it is Prasamajam, but how do you call him? Yaksham or adorable. So Katham Puna Yakshamidi, how do you say that this Brahma or Satyam Brahma is adorable, worshipful? Uchyate. The Shruti herself tells us how it is Yaksham. Te evam srushtaha devaha pitaramapi virajam atitya tadeva satyam brahma upasate ataha etat prasamajam mahadyaksham. So how do you say the Satyam Brahma is adorable? So Shruti herself says, so te devaha satyameva upasate. Those devatas which are now born of Virat, so they do not worship Virat, but they worship Satya, who is the father of Virat, So te evam sushtaha devaha pitaram virajam atitya. And therefore, they surpass, so they supersede this Virat, and then Tadeva Satyam Brahma Upasate, Evakara is there. Therefore, the Satyam Brahma alone, they meditate or worship Satyam Brahma, which is even the father of Virat, rather than worshipping their own father Virat. Therefore, he is worshipful. Ataha edat prasamajam mahad yaksham, and therefore this is prasamajam, it is mahad, and yaksham, it is adorable. So Siddhanagari Visheshana Traya Siddhe Phalitamaha. So this passage thus establishes how Brahman is called prasamajam, mahad, and yaksham. So Phalitamaha Tasmaditi, page 1393. Tasmāt sarvatmana upasyam tata. See, thus establishing the greatness of what it is that you want to meditate upon. So naturally one wants to meditate upon something which is great, something which is inspiring, something which can create in you a reverence. And therefore, so for inspiration, we should have something or somebody in our life that always inspires you. Must be great enough that always inspires you. So the object of meditation must last for the lifetime. People always choose different objects of meditation, like some wealth and power and this and that, and they then lose their value after you achieve them. Or sometimes before you achieve them also they lose their value. When your own perception changes, they lose the value. Therefore, there must be an ideal in the life which always remains with you, which retains its greatness and inspiring value all the time. That's the reason why if you want to, they say that if you want to take a refuge, take the refuge of that which is always powerful, always great, and that never loses its greatness. You can never become great enough also. And therefore, so that is how that which is great, even if you can become that great. That's also thing. That ideal is that always inspires you and invites you to become that. And so, that's why these three epaulets here, or three adjectives here, Prasavajam, Mahad, and Yaksham. Tasmat Sarvatmana Upasyam Tata. Therefore, that Brahman must be worshipped by one's whole being. My soul must be there, because sometimes my heart is there but the intellect is not there. Something is here, but then the mind has all kinds of problems. Sometimes intellectually things are alright, but the heart has lots of problems. So alright, I think yes, theoretically you should worship this person alright and he's adorable, but somehow my heart doesn't, accept it. Sometimes the heart accepts it because it is its own whatever the thing is, but the brain doesn't accept it. So Sarvatmana, by your mind, as well as your intellect, as well as you do that, but you don't do anything. So karma also should be there. And therefore, so Sarvatmana means what? The karma, and that's what Mat Karma Krit, Mat Paramaha, Mat Bhaktaha. So may you perform the actions for my sake. Mat Paramaha, may you look upon me as the very goal. Mat Bhaktaha, may you be devoted to me. And therefore, Sarvatmana Upasam. So Lord Krishna also presents himself in the Bhagavad Gita as the one that should be meditated upon or worshipped by one's whole being. Manmana bhava, mad bhaktaha, madhyaji, mam namaskuru. So your mind also must be focused on me, and then your bhakti, devotion also should be on me. Your actions shall all be performed for me, and namaskuru, you must be totally surrendered to me. Mayeva manadhatsva, mai buddhim niveshaya. Your mind also must be placed on me, intellect also must be centered on me. So then alone things work. And anyway, one should have this kind of an object of meditation. That is God. That's the reason why Lord is presented as the one to be worshipped, because He alone can ultimately satisfy one's total requirements. Nothing else can satisfy that. Tasmat sarvatmana upasyam tada. Therefore, that must be worshipped by one's whole being. Then, continuing, So, te devaha satyameva upasate. And therefore, tasmat sarvatmana upasyam tat brahma. Therefore, not only devata devas worship, but we should also worship that Brahma by our whole being. Then explaining the next, tadetat preksharam satyamiti. So continuing. Tasyapi satyasya brahmana nama satyamiti. Tasyapi, of that Satya Brahma also there is a name, Satyam. What is of that Brahman also? Anand is Tasyabheti Abhishabdaha Hridaya Brahma Drishtantarthaha. So, just as the Hridaya Brahma, so that Prajapati is this Etad Hridayam, so this Hridaya was also presented as Brahma, having a name Hridayam, or that Prajapati had the name Hridayam. In short, Brahman had name Hridayam. Now Brahma had the name Satyam. Same Brahman that was presented as Prajapati as the object of worship, its name was said to be Hridayam, made up of these three letters or syllables through the and ya. Here also same one is presented as Satyam. So how the name also, idea is that when a name is given to you, that also should be meaningful to you. So name can be meaningful etymologically also, and so like Krishna, Rama, all of these, Shiva, etymologically also, going to the root from which they are derived, or you can trace them, as derived from certain basic root stems, and that is how that name helps you to meditate. Because when you derive the meaning of that name, then it helps you to meditate. Here it's done in a different way. Chandogya Upanishad also has this, and Bṛhadāraṇyaka Upaniṣad also has this method of some very interesting derivations of the name, So, explaining name in a different way, not grammatically, but in some local way, and so in a common usage. So Satyam, so Hridayam, Hru, the and ya. And Hru was given a meaning, the was given a meaning, ya was given a meaning. That's why the name Hridayam becomes meaningful to you. So when you meditate upon God with the name Hridayam, then that meaningfulness also is there. And of course, his other attributes also are there. So meaningfulness appeals to the intellect, and the greatness appeals to the heart. And that's how Sarvatmana, one can relate to the object of worship in one's total being, by one's total being. So tasyapi iti abhishabdaha hridaya brahma drishtantartha, footnote 14, drishtantasyayam namnaha traksharatva bodhyaha. Just as Brahman had this name Hridayam, and that had three syllables, so also Brahman is another name, Satyam, and that also has three syllables, three letters. So Drishtanta is not only Hridayam, but Namna Traksharatve Drishtanta. Not only that it has another name, but that the name has these three letters, iti bodhya. Says Bhashya, Tadetata Draksharam Kanitani Aksharani Ityatah Aha Saiti Ekamaksharam Ti iti Ekamaksharam Ti iti Ikara Anubandha Nirdeshartha Yam iti ekamaksharam. So the etat traksharam, this name Satyam also is traksharam. Trini aksharani. Yasya tat traksharam. So that which has these three letters or three syllables is called traksharam. Three aksharam. Kanitani aksharani. So what are these three letters or three syllables? Ityataha, in reply to that it said, Sa iti ekamaksharam. So the name Satyam is, Sa is the first letter. Ti, Satiyam. So it is not Satiyam, it is Satyam. Takara must be there. So Ti iti ekamaksharam. Ti iti ikara anubandha nirdeshartha. Footnote number 1. Nirdeshartha iti uchcharanartha ityartha. Because merely takara. So that something has to be added to the vyanjana. So in Sanskrit, that a vyanjana is, you always add a swara or a vowel to a consonant, then alone it can be pronounced. Otherwise, ka you can't pronounce, And so for the facility of pronunciation, you call it kakara, makara and takara. That means the letters with neither stroke, purely consonants. Because when you say ka, then a vowel is involved. When you say ka and ka, it also involves a vowel, namely a. So how do you pronounce that ka? So some people, they try to pronounce like that, ka, 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 but it's very difficult to do that. Therefore, so kakara. And then here instead of takara, they say ti, that's all. So uchcharanartha ityartha. And so, for the purpose of uchcharanam or utterance, it is just said ti. Atra hal matra takara pradarshanaha iti yavata. Hal matra. All it is vyanjana or hal. Hal is all vyanjana. And so, to say that it is only a consonant, that no vowel is involved, that is what is meant by ti here is meant takara. That's what is meant. So titikara, So you wonder what is this titikara? So ti iti ikara anubandha. And so joining of e and ta, takara, that's how the final form is ti, it is nirdeshartha, uchcharanartha, for facility of utterance, that's all. Yamiti ekam aksharam, and then so that's how ti becomes an aksharam, otherwise takara is not a syllable. Sa is syllable, yam is syllable, ta is not a syllable, but then when you call it ti, then it becomes a syllable also. Yamiti ekam aksharam, and the third syllable of the third word letter is yam, satyam. Explaining the Shruti passage, tatra tesham प्रथमोत्तमे अक्षरे सकारयकारौ सत्यं मृत्युरूप अभावात् मध्यतः मध्ये अनृतं हि मृत्युः मृत्यु अनृतयोः तकार सामान्यात्. So tatra, footnote number 2, tatra satyapade, in this word satya. Tesham, footnote number 3, trayanam aksharanam madhye. Now that we are shown how this word satya is 3 syllables, sa, ti and yam. So in this name satya, among these 3 syllables or letters, sa, ti and yam, tesham Prathamottame akshare. Prathama the first, Uttama is the last. Prathamottame akshare. Sakara yakaro. See, Bhashyakara to say, Sayau could have been said it. Or Sayamau, I don't know what yam is the word actually, letter. So Sakara yakaro, that's sa and ya. So Prathamottare Satyam. Name itself is Satyam. So how does this name Satyam, how is it derived? Because it is not total Satyam. Little bit of Anrutam is involved in there, So actually Satyam must be Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Only Nirvishesham Brahman can be called Satyam in a primary sense. But this Hiranyagarbha or the manifest creation also is called Satyam. Why? It is not total Satyam. Some Anrutam, some Mithyatvam, falsehood is involved in there, But it is primarily Satyam. The most important part is Satyam. Because that is undeniable or non-negatable. So that which cannot be negated, and Mithya is there temporarily which can be negated, therefore. So Mithya does not contaminate Satyam. On the other hand, Satya glorifies Mithya. That's what it says here. So, Tesham Prasamottare Akshare Sakara Yakaro Satyam, footnote 4, Amrutam, immortal. So Sa and Yam stand for Satyam, that is Amrutam, immortal. Why? Mrityu Rupa Abhavad. Because that Mrityu Rupa. So, Again, all the sense organs and all of these were also called mrityu earlier. So mrityu room identification with them. And so when the identification is not there, it is amrutam or immortal. So in these two letters, or primarily in the creation, the main element here is really satyam, the adhishthana. And mrityu rupa bhava, that is not subject to destruction. It is immortal. Or footnote 5 says, Saraswatiji yavadityahu. So therefore, when you attach the word satya, in sa also there can be swara satyam, whatever. So makara, ya can be elongated, and sa can be udatta, anudatta, because always the swara is always on the swara itself, that means only on the vowel. On the consonant, the elongation cannot be. So udatta, anudatta, swarita, So whether you lower it, you raise it, or you elongate it. All of this is done with reference to vowel, understand. Purusha evedagum sarvam, whatever. Yad bhutam yadcha bhavyam. And so it is a swara which is always elongated, never vyanjana. So sa has a swara in there, and ya also is a swara in there, so that sa and ya there can be accentuation. Either udatta, anudatta, or satyam, whatever. And so that's how, but takara, the vyanjana, there cannot be any swara, meaning intonations cannot be with reference to vyanjana, intonations are always there with reference to swara. So takara is purely vyanjana, therefore the poor thing cannot have intonation. Whereas sa and ya can also saswaratvat. So along with the swara anyway, so sa also involves swara and ya also involves swara, that also. And takara doesn't involve a swara because it's purely a vyanjana. So that also you can satswaratvat. So yavadityahu, and therefore they possess this swara. Both ways, and that is why they say that they are immortal. Mrityu rupa bhava. And so that mrityu is not there, they are immortal. Madhyataha madhye anutam, where the middle little letters, takara, is anutam, is mortal. Anutam is mrityuhu. So, takaraksharam. So, takaraksharam is anutatvam, mrityutvam, tacha niswaratvat, takarasyeti api vadanti. Takara does not contain a swara, and therefore also anutatvam, mrityutvam. Anutatvam is falsehood. False is that which is subject to death or destruction, so that is false. That which is truth is indestructible. So anutatvam, mrityutvam, tacha niswaratvat, because takara does not contain a swara. Takarasyeti api vadanti. This is how some commentators explain. So that takara is called mrityu because the poor thing doesn't have a swara. And sa and ya are anutam, are amrutam, immortal, because they possess swara, contain swara. Madhyata means madhye anutam. Anutam hi mrityuhu. Again, mrityu anurtayo takara samanyat. In the word mrityu, anutam, in both of them takara is there, In mrityu also ta is there, anuta also ta is there. So, ubhayoho takara ghatitatvat. Both these words also contain takara in there. That's the reason also why that poor takara is branded as mrityu or anruta. It doesn't have swara, and it becomes part of these words, mrityu and anruta. It falls in between. The middle one always is a problem, The first one doesn't have a problem, the last one has no problem. In the home also, the first child always is tended very well because first child. The last one is always spoiled brat usually, and therefore because there's last one. Because the first one, of course, his parents don't know what to do with, and therefore, they do whatever they can. And by the time the last child comes, parents have grown with a lot of experience with the other children also. That is why also this fellow gets, so all that they have learned, from the experience of raising other children, all the benefits available to the last child. And so the middle one is okay, and so it's not the first one, therefore it doesn't get that attention, it doesn't have that importance. It's not the last one because, and therefore also he's not fondled that much, So just first child is usually disciplined and last one is spoiled. In between is neither disciplined nor spoiled, whatever it is. So that is how the middle one is a problem. So therefore in name Satyam also, the Takara is the middle one. Therefore it is so Anrutam. Tadetananatam Takaraksharam Mrityurupam Ubhayataha Satyena Sakarayakar Lakshanena Parigrahitam Vyaptam Antarbhavitam Satyarupabhyam Ataha Akinchitkaram Tad Satyabhuyameva Satyavahulyameva Bhavati. Tadetat Anrutam Takaraksharam Mrityurupam. So this Takara which is Anrutam which is false, Mrityurupam which is mortal, subject to death, Ubhayataha. Footnote number 8, Purvottarataha. Preceded by and followed by. Ubhata means preceded by and followed by. Satyera Sakara Yakar Lakshanena Parigrahitam. It is contained, it is held in position or contained or pervaded by, so Vyaptam pervaded, Antarbhavitam included or encompassed. So this middle Takara is included or encompassed on both the sides by Sakara and Yakara, which are Amrita immortal or Satya or the truth. So, Ubhaya Satya Rupabhyam Vyaptam Antarbhavitam. So, Sa and Ya, both of which are of the nature of Satya, by them this one is contained or it is encompassed. Ata Akinchitkaram. Akinchitkaram Amarakam. Therefore, the Takara doesn't have its effect. Is inconsequential. So even though it is Marakam, Mrityu means what? That which kills you. So Takara actually is Mrityu Rupam and therefore that which kills you, but then its killerness becomes ineffective. It becomes insignificant because it is surrounded on both the sides by Satyam or by that which is truth or immortal. So in short, that Satya Brahma also has some element which is false. So Satyam Brahma is merely Adhishthanam. And the Satyam Brahma in the sense of Hiranyagarbha includes both Adhishthanam as well as Adhyaropa. So Namarupa Adhyaropa is there, that Namarupa Adhyaropa part is in fact Mithya, Adhishthanam is Satyam. So before the creation what there is Adhishthanam, after dissolution also what there is Adhishthanam, in between then this creation comes. So this creation that is in between is preceded by the Adhishthanam, that is Satyam, Sadeva Swamidam Agrasit, Ekameva Advityam. So before this manifestation of name and form, the universe was Brahman, one without a second, and in dissolution again, it is Sat or Brahman. In between we have the manifestation, that is what we call creation or Anutam, and so this Anutam Mithya creation is surrounded by or encompassed by Satya on both the sides. Like a thought arises from consciousness and merges into consciousness, and thus it is sandwiched between the consciousness which is true. Therefore, the thought which is a modification of consciousness becomes akinchitkaram. When it is understood for what it is, then it becomes ineffective or insignificant. If it is not understood that way, it is very significant. So when the untruth or false is not understood as false, then it becomes very significant. Alright, but then when it is understood for what it is, it becomes insignificant or ineffective. So similarly also the false part of this Hiranyagarbha is ineffective, the truth part is effective. So why should it get named Satyam? When it contains Mithya or when it contains a false thing in it, why should we call it immortal? When it contains mortality in there, why should we call it truth? When it contains a falsehood? Because truth is predominant. That is why. So Satya Rupabhyam Vyaptam Antarbhavitam. So the predominant aspect in there is Satya, the truth. Therefore, akinchitkaram amarakam. So for the knower of the word, this one, that takara or the anrutam doesn't have effect at all, becomes ineffective or insignificant. Tas satya bhuyameva takaraksharam. And therefore, even that takara, even that mithya also is satya bhuyameva. What is satya bhuyam? Satya bahulyam. That which is predominantly satyam. Satyameva bhavati. And so, predominantly truth. That's why the world also is called satyam. And Brahman is called satyasya satyam. So, satyasya satyam, but world also is called satyam. Even though the word satya is derived or explained as satya, tyatcha. So, sat and tyat, so gross and subtle, cause and effect, all of these becomes the satya. But still there is a reason why the universe is called satya. Yat sattvad amrushayu bhati sakalam rajjau yatha her brahma. So because of rajju or the rope, the brahma, the snake appears to be real. So as long as we do not know this to be brahma, the snake also appears to be real. So how does the snake get its reality? Gets its reality from the rope. Yat sattvad amrushayu bhati. Because it's Rama, because he's real, he's existent, therefore the universe also shines as though it is real. Sakalam rajjo yatha her brahma. That's the reason why so that sarva also can be called satyam. Because the predominant element there is satya, namely rope. So universe can be called satyam because the predominant element is asti, bhati and priyam. There is nama rupa, no doubt. But nama rupa is in between. Is preceded by asti, bhati, priyam and also followed by asti, bhati, priyam, sandwiched between asti, bhati, priyam, and that is the truth. That's why we can give the benefit. Nama rupa also can be called satyam. It is satya bhuyam, predominantly satyam. Satya bahulyam. So it is the predominant element which satyam bhavati. Footnote 11 says, Ukta vibhagasya upasya sambandham bruvāṇah tat phalamāha. So this name Satyam has been thus divided into two categories, Amrutam and Martyam, or Amrutam and Satyam. Ukta vibhagasya upasya sambandham bruvāṇah. So the middle takara also being sandwiched by a truth is primarily truth. So that upasya sambandham bruvāṇah, explaining the connection, relations with the meditation, the result of the meditation is being stated, evam iti. Bhāṣyakara says, evam satya bahulyam sarvasya mrityoho anudasya akinchit karatvam cha yah vidvān tam evam vidvamsam anratam kadachita pramadoktam nahinasti. Evam, in this manner, satya bahulyam sarvasya. Footnote number 12, sarvasya iti satyam iti samudayasya ityartha. So this samudaya called satya has satya bahulyam, meaning it has predominance of satya, preponderance of satya. Yadva sarvasya mrityoho iti. Even satya bahulyam sarvasya mrityoho. All this mrityu which is takara also has preponderance of satya, the truth, therefore. So sarvasya mrityoho anutasya. That is why if sarvasya is taken to be the adjective of mrityoho, then yadva sarvasya mrityoho, that's how. Sarvasya mrityo anutasya akinchit karma. Sarvasya can be taken as either total, meaning the name satya. Satyam is samudayasya. Or sarvasya can be taken as the adjective of mrityoho. Satyasya mrityoho anutasya akinchit karatvam. Therefore, the entire death, which is mithya, akinchit karam, it is insignificant, it is ineffective. Chayo vidwan. This is how one meditates upon Brahman. that is Hiranyagarbha, that is Prajapati or Hiranyagarbha, and you meditate upon that, is basically Satyam. Why? Because there is preponderance of Satya. That there is an element of Nama Rupa, manifestation, limitation, but then Akinchit Karam is insignificant. It does not in any way, so that's one good thing is, even though Hiranyagarbha also looks like having a form, etc., but that does not deny the fact that it is immortal in nature. So the womb of what appears is contained the immortality. And therefore, while meditating upon Hiranyagarbha also, when one meditates upon the Satya aspect of Hiranyagarbha, so what we call Takara, what we call name and form, is just let's say costume, that costume, that is what the Satya is put on, and therefore the costume is alright. So even though the fellow is a beggar, he is still predominantly only a rich man, because the beggarliness is false. So thus, even while one looks at the beggar, when one meditates upon that person as a millionaire or a billionaire, then the beggarliness doesn't bother you at all. Then you also become that. Depends on what you meditate upon. Just because a fellow looks a beggar, do you meditate upon him as a beggar? So he says, no, meditate upon him as a millionaire or now a billionaire. Similarly in life also, what do we meditate upon? What it is that we focus our attention on? Do we focus attention only on what appears or what is contained in there? So what appears is Nama Rupa, but the Nama Rupa nevertheless says Asti Bhati Priyam. So this meditation is meditation upon the truth which comes along with some falsehood. Because pure truth cannot become evident at all, it cannot be perceived or cannot be related to. So just as in pure metal also you add little impurity, then only you can form it. Similarly also in this truth, Asti Bhati Priyam, this name and form is added, then only it becomes transactable. Then alone it can become the object of meditation. Otherwise Asti Bhati Priyam is to be known as a self. But how can Asti Bhati Priyam, how can we worship? Only when it is connected or joined with this Nama Rupa. So even when we worship it, we should know that Nama Rupa is just a vehicle of the manifestation of the Satyam. And therefore this is predominantly Satya. Everything is predominantly Satya. Yo Vidwan Tamevam Vidvamsam, and so one who meditates. So meditation may not be a one-shot deal, it can be a constant anusandhanam, a constant, a continuous perception or a continuous deliberation in our mind also. That whatever it is Satyam predominantly. And Anatam or Mrityu, everything also has a Mrityu, Marakam. Everything also has the death, or it causes death also. But then, when we pay attention to the primary element which is Satya, then this Margatvam or the killer aspect, it becomes inconsequential. Evam Vidvamsam Anuratam Nahinasti. This falsehood does not hurt him. So says Anandagiri, Buddhi Purukam Anuratam Vidusho Vibhadatam. Even a meditator also, the Upasaka also, if he deliberately tells the untruth or false, Bhadakam, Vidusho Vibhadakam. Upasituhu Bhadakam. So Drishtantartha, that we saw, Drishtan that we saw. Upasituhu Bhadakam. Iti Abhipretya Vishanashti. Not that he gets a license of telling the lies or anything like that, but in case inadvertently he says something, that does not hurt him. Kadachit pramadoktam, said inadvertently, nahinasti. It doesn't hurt him. So nahinasti, footnote number 13, nahinasti swafaladanena bhadakam na bhavati. Otherwise everything will give its phala. You say truth, it will give phala. You say false, it will give you phala. So, in Vyavahara, inadvertently you may say something, which may not be right. And then also if it gives its phala, then it's very difficult. Nobody can get released from this world. So anyway, when a person is committed to truth, and when always emphasizes truth in one's life, not only in one's own self, but in anything that he comes across also, that what you come across has the element that is called false. It is mrityu in there. It is all painfulness, all kinds of things are there, but still it is sandwiched or enveloped by the truth, and therefore predominantly there is truth in there. If I relate to world in this manner, including beings and things of the world that way, then akinchit karam, then all the other problems, all the things that are there in terms of, whatever other difficulties may be there at the name and form, that level, akinchit karam, that becomes inconsequential. Otherwise, they become consequential and the satyam remains inconsequential. Normally, people meditate upon nama and the rupa. Meditation means giving importance to what? What am I worshipping in my life? If I worship my own name and form and worship name and form of others, then marakam, it always hurts you. And that because we are worshipping the false. And when you say, pramadokta meaning not only that he tells a lie or something, but inadvertently he worships the name and form, in the sense that gives reality to name and form, that is say, which has its consequences. But since normally he gives reality to satyam all the time, therefore, if once in a while, habitually, a reality is given to the false, then also it does not hurt him. Because he himself is primarily satya bhuyah. So the person who is thus meditating upon satyam, worshipping satyam, giving reality to satyam, and the meditation need not be understood as confined to just some session. It must become a way of life. And so in the life also one worships that or respects that. That is when slowly the effectiveness of the mithya element becomes less and less significant. Ultimately becomes by worshipping and by all the time giving importance to satya. The goodness, the rightness which is there, even though the wrongness appears to be there on the surface, in the womb there is rightness. Even though evil appears on the surface, in the womb there is goodness. And that's what one focuses one's attention on all the time. In that case, one invokes that. So what happens also is we invoke what it is that we worship. So if you are invoking all the time the false or the marakam, the evil, then that means that that's what we are worshipping perhaps. And maybe we should make a change in our own self. We find all the time that we are being treated in a certain way. Maybe we have to look at our own self and see what it is that we are relating to. Are we giving importance to what? Giving importance to this nama-rupa, to the mithya, to the mrityu, and to what? Or, so maybe we should change the focus of our own attention. And we should also worship and give importance to the satya which must be there, because mithya cannot be unless the satya adhishthanam is. So this is how a shift, in the focus from nama rupa to asti bhadi kriya, from the form to the spirit. So then, if inadvertently, habitually he also gives reality to the name and form, then that should have its consequence, but does not have the consequence. Kadachit pramadoktam nahinasti, and so it does not, so phalam danena bhadakam na bhavati. So by giving its phala, does not become bhadakam, does not become an obstacle, or does not become painful or obstacle to him. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bṛhadāraṇyam Sutrabhāṣya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Going to page 1394. Brahmanantaram avatarya vyakarodhi. Siddhanandagiri, Bhashyakara introducing next Brahmana, then explains Asya Ityadina. Bhashya Sairya. Asya adhuna satyasya brahmanaha samsthana visheshe upasanam uchyate. The subject matter is this Brahman, which was called Satyam. So, this whole section started with this Trayaha Prajapatyaha, how Prajapati instructed the three progeny, three children, the Devatas, Manavas and Danavas. That Prajapati alone is Hrudayam. And then, in order to praise that Prajapati, the name Hrudayam was also praised by stating how the word Hrudayam is made up of the three syllables through, the and yam, and the result of the meditation upon this, through in the sense of aharati, the in the sense of dadati, and then yam in the sense of yati or gacchati eti. So, how by meditation upon Hru, how all those related to me and unrelated also bring all kinds of presents. How meditating upon the, they give me their power, and how meditating upon the, that takes me to Svargaloka. This is how the Nam Upasana was done. Then same Brahman was then stated to be Satyam. So that what was said to be Hrudayam, that alone was called Satyam. And also was described as Mahad Yaksham Prasamajam. And it was then said that one who meditates upon Satya Brahma conquers all these worlds, as well as all his enemies become diminished. Then the next Brahmana told us how it is that this Brahman is Prasamajam, Mahad and Yaksham, how it is firstborn, how it is great, how it is adorable. So, for that, it was said how the whole universe was before its creation nothing but the primordial cause, which is called Apaha, the waters. And how from this primordial cause consisting of the five elements, the first one, namely Hiranyagarbha, was born. That alone is Brahman or Satya Brahma. That Hiranyagarbha is called Satya. So Brahma is called Satya. So it is Prasamajam, the firstborn. And then it created the whole world, and therefore it is Mahat or the great. And it is adorable because, so Brahma gave rise to Prajapati and Prajapati gave rise to Devatas, and Devatas are all the time meditating upon Satyam Brahma or Hiranyagarbha, therefore he is most adorable. So this Prasamajam, Mahadhyaksham, so all those adjectives, appellates that were used in the previous Brahmana were explained in this Brahmana. And further it was said how Satyam Brahma, that word Satyam, again this Nam Upasana is given, how Satya also is made up of these three syllables, Sat and Takara and Ya, and how this Sa and Ya, both of them are Satya, and Takara is Anruta, but Anruta being enveloped on both the sides by the Satya, Anruta also, or Mithya also, is predominantly only truthful, and the one who thus meditates that predominantly Brahman is truthful. So truth is predominant, even though there is a false element in there, but the false element being enveloped or surrounded by truth, therefore it is primarily truth. And thus who appreciates primarily truthfulness in whatever that is, also becomes truthful, and therefore if inadvertently he also utters something false, that does not bring about any harm to him. So this is how Brahman was said to be Satyam, and that's how the Upasana was told there. Of the same Brahma, Asya Adhuna, Satyasya Brahmana, or that Brahman, that is Hiranyagarbha, that was called Satya. Samsthan Visheshe Upasana Muchyate. So, same Brahman now, Upasana, meditation is said with reference to Samsthana Vishesha. See footnote number 1 and 2. Prasamajattvadi Vishishta Satya Upasana Ukyanantaram. So how Satyam Brahma was Prasamajam, Mahad Yaksham, so meditation upon that. So Prasamajatvad Vishishta Satya Upasana Ukti Anantaram. Having told us the Upasana, the meditation upon Satyam Brahma, who is Prasamajam, Mahad Yaksham, having stated that, Asya Adhuna, now, of the same Satya Brahma, Samsthana Visheshedi. Samsthana Vishesha means Rupa Vede. Same Satyam Brahma has two forms. Several forms, where in the two forms the Upasana is being stated of the same Satyam Brahma. Adhyatma Adhidevayoho Akshi Aditya Sthanayoho Satyasyeva Brahmana Rupa Vishesham Kalpayitva Tadupasti Uktyartham Uttaram Brahmana Ityartha. So Adhyatma Adhidevayoho, how same Satyam Brahma Hiranyagarbha obtains in individual as well as in Adhideva, means among the Devatas. So where do they obtain the individual? Akshi, in the right eye. Where do they obtain in the Devatas? In the sun. So he obtains in the sun as well as he obtains in the individual being in the eye. So Akshya Aditya Sthanayoho Satyasyeva Brahmana Rupa Vishesham Kalpayitva. How the Satya Brahma has a certain form. It will be stated he has a head and he has two arms, he has two legs. So that kind of Rupa also will be stated. So first of all, the two sthana, the two places are given as to where to meditate upon Satya Brahma, in the orb of the sun as well as in the right eye in the individual. And subsequently will be told how that Brahman has a certain form. So Rupa Vishesham Kalpayitva Tadupastyuktyartham. In order to tell us the Upasana meditation upon Satya Brahma, as located in these two places, Aditya as well as in the individual, in the right eye, possessing a certain form, hands, legs, etc. So meditation upon that is what is to be stated. For that, this Brahmana is. Asya Adhuna Satyasya Brahmana, of the same Satya Brahma, Samsthana Vishesha, in a particular samsthana, in a particular form, Upasana Uchade, the meditation is being stated in this Brahmana. So let us read the Kandika here. Tadyat tat satyam asau saditya ya esha etasmin mandale purusha yaschayam dakshine akshan purusha tau etau anyonyasmin pratishthitau rashmibhi eshosmin pratishthitah प्राणैः अयममुष्मिन् स यदा उत्क्रमिष्यन् भवति शुद्धमेव एतन्मण्डलं पश्यति नैनमेते रश्मयः प्रत्यायन्ति तद्यत् तत् सत्यम् असौ सः आदित्यः. So that which was Satya Brahma is indeed Aditya, is the sun. Saesha tasmin mandale purusha. That Aditya, the sun, now obtains in these two ways. Etasmin mandale purusha. In the orb of the sun, the being that is there in the orb of the sun. Yaschayam dakshine akshan purusha. And the person, the being that obtains in the right eye in the individual. So sun is said to be the eye of the Lord. And this right eye is said to be the eye of the individual, and showing the correspondence between the individual as well as the total. So individual is like a replica of the totality, and therefore similarities are being shown how the being obtaining in the orb of the sun is a being that obtains in the right eye, and that is the Prajapati. Tau etau anyonyasmin pratishtitau. These two forms, these two manifestations of forms are there of the same Prajapati. How do you say that? Anyonyasmin pratishtitau. How both these individual and the total, that is being obtained in the right eye, the being obtaining the sun, anyonyasmin pratishtitau, how both of them are located or situated in each other. They rest on each other. How rashmibihi esha asmin pratishtitah. So sun, through his rashmi, meaning through his rays, rests on the eyes. That means the sun through his rays blesses this eyes or favors this eyes. That's how eyes are able to function. Pranihiyam amushmin. And pranihi, by the sense organs, by the perception, this eyes, that is a being obtaining the right eye, rests on the Surya. That is, with the right eye we illumine the Surya. That is, the presence of sun also is known only when the eyes are functioning. So you can say that the eyes illumine the sun, and the eyes can function provided the sun illumines the eyes. And that's how anyonyasmin pratishtitau, they rest on each other. That means they are mutually enjoy a relationship, Bhashyakara will explain, of upakaraka, upakarya, of the one who is helpful and one who is being helped. So each one helps the other, each one is being helped by the other. They both are one. Therefore, both of them are one. That is how, of the same Satya Brahma, these two expressions are being told here at the individual level as well as at the level of the totality. So what happens here? Sa yada utkarmishchan bhavati shuddhameva etan mandalam pashyate. So when this person now, one who meditates in this manner, departs from this body, that time shuddhameva etan mandalam pashyate. That time he sees the orb of the sun as pure, like moon. So this reference came in the Ishavasya Upanishad, as a matter of fact. So when, and those same mantras are going to appear here also, in this section here, in this chapter. But there, so hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushanna parano satya dharmaya dushtaye. So one who has performed this kind of upasana on Hiranyagarbha, with as a being obtaining the orb of the sun and the being obtaining the right eye, seeing the identity between the two, and that identity being represented by the consciousness, that is the Hiranyagarbha. So thus one who has meditated upon this principle for the whole of the life, when this person departs now, he is going to travel from here to the world of the sun, and that he can, provided while departing also he has a vision or darshan of the sun. But sun in the midday is so bright that he cannot see, and therefore he prays to his Ishtadevata, that please, so Samuha Tejaha, and so what is it? Yama Surya Prajapatya Vyuh Rashmin Samuha Tejaha. May you please withdraw your rays, may you fold up your light. So, yatte kadrupam kalyanatamam tatte pashyami, so that I can see your kalyanatamam rupam. I can see your most gentle form. So I cannot see you with your rays, blinding my eyes, and therefore withdraw your rays, hold up your light, so that I can see you. And it is said that, in fact, this happens, that the sun, in fact, so folds up his rays, and that's how this upasaka is able to have the darshan of Ishtadevata as though it is as clear and as gentle as the moon. So, Shuddhameva etan mandalam pashyate. So when this upasaka departs from this body, at that time he sees this orb of the sun as very pure or gentle or like the moon. Nayanamete rashmaya pratyayanti. Those rays of the sun no more come to him. That means no more blind him, no more come to him. And then subsequently further information also will be given about this meditation. So says Bhashyakara here, Tadyata kim tata satyam brahma prasamajam kim asau saha kosau adityah kah punah asau adityah ya eshaha kaeshaha. Supposed to be there. Yaha etasmin aditya mandale purushaha abhimani sosau satyam brahma. So many pronouns are being used here, therefore Bhashyaka has to explain every pronoun. So there is tat and then yat and again tat, and so many pronouns are there. So tadyat, the first two letters, first two words, tadyat. So upasanam uchyate tadyat. So in the Kandika, beginning with this verse, upasanam, the meditation upon Satya Brahma is being prescribed here. So tadyat, kim tat, what is that? So tadyat means the one who. Kim tat, who is that? Then says Satyam. What is Satyam? So that's what the Kandika says, Satyam. Brahma Prasamajam. So one that was stated to be Prasamajam Mahadhyaksham, that Satyam Brahma is that. Kim is what? Asausa. It is this one here. Koso. Which one? Aditya. So tadyat, tat Satyam. So that which is this is indeed Satyam Brahma. And who is that Satyam Brahma? Aditya, the Surya of the sun. Kaf punah sa Aditya, so Aditya, alright. Who is this sun again? Ye Esha, that is this one. Ka Esha, which one? Yah etasmin Aditya mandale purushaha abhimani saha sau Satyam Brahma. So one that is abhimani, one that is identified with the orb of the sun. So being obtaining the orb of the sun and identifying with the sun, that is what we call, that is the Satyam Brahma. Etasmin Aditya Mandale Purusha. Purusha means a being, a conscious being as a matter of fact. So consciousness obtaining in the orb of the sun. So Yadaditya Gadam Teja Jagat Bhasayate Khilam Yat Chandramasi Yachagnav Tat Tejo Viddhimamakam. In explaining this verse also, Bhashyakara said how one consciousness alone manifests as the light of the sun. So consciousness obtaining in the sun, or the consciousness that is the sun. So manifesting as sun, or that is the sun. So this meditation upon sun is very commonly found in the Vedas and the Upanishads also, because sun must have really fascinated the sages all the time, because he is the life giver. So he is the life giver of the earth. And whatever therefore life is there, energy is there, is all due to sun. So therefore is addressed by different names. Pushan, Ekarshe, Yama, Surya, Bṛhadāraṇyaka. In the Ishavasya Upanishad, in here also. So how is the Pushan? He is the one that sustains everybody, he nourishes everybody. He is the giver of life, he is the nourisher of life. And so somebody said that whatever we find in the earth are nothing but the rays of what? Walking and talking rays of the sun. Each one of us is nothing but the sun rays, which are all transformed in the form of the soul, whatever there is on this earth. And therefore, the sun stands for God. He is the one who is giver of life. He is the one who sustains the life. Who is the one who maintains everything. He is the nature of light or the brightness. That shows the one who dispels all the darkness and all the evils arising from darkness. Because at night, darkness is there, all kinds of evils are there. As the sun rises, the darkness goes away, all the fears and evils go away. And that is how one who dispels the fears, one who dispels all the evil forces. That's how Rama will be compared to sun. So just as sun arises and all the darkness is dispelled, so also when Rama comes, all the evil tendencies, or in the Adi-Bhautika world, all these demons, all of them are destroyed. So sun stands for God. And so all the forms in the universe also are supposed to unite in the sun. And therefore sun represents also the unification of all the forms, and so all the names, and therefore of the whole universe. And also he stands for Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha also uses the nature of brightness and light, and sun is light, therefore he represents Hiranyagarbha, the very creator and the sustainer. And that is how, of course, the Gayatri mantra and all of that. So sun is perhaps the upasana, meditation upon sun is one of the most important upasanas, and therefore we find that theme being repeated again and again, Pratyaksha Devata. So those days, of course, the symbols were there. In the Vedas, we do not find the upasanas that we find today, the Puranic upasanas upon the different devatas like Rama or Krishna or Shiva. But we find upasanas, meditation upon same God, of course, based on these expressions or manifestations of nature, that they could see the divinity manifesting in the nature everywhere, and thus that is why. So in the trees also they find the same divinity. Ashwatha Sarvavrukshanam, all the trees, I am Ashwatha. So there is divinity there also. It's a matter of being sensitive and seeing that. And then perhaps certain things requires less sensitivity to see them. That is the reason why Lord Krishna would describe his various vibhutis, and Surya of course is one of the vibhutis where the divinity is very evidently manifest. And therefore here we find that Satyam Brahma is equated to Aditya. Satyam Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is equated to Aditya. So Aditya becomes a very manifest or evident symbol with the help of which you can meditate upon Hiranyagarbha, who is Prasamajam, who is Mahat, who is Yaksham, the firstborn, most adorable, as well as the great or the big. So this is the identification now. So Aditya. Who is that Aditya? Aditya is that principle, that is a being obtaining in the orb of the sun and identified with the sun. So tatra adidevikam sthana vishesham upanyasyate tadityadina. So this is the tatra. Tatra is, what is it, footnote number there? Tatra. Footnote number 4. Adhyatma adhidevayoho madhye. Right. So of the Adhyatma and Adhideva, Adhidevikam Sthana Vishesham Upanyasyati, that we just read, Tadyat. Samprati Adhyatmikam Sthana Vishesham Darshayati, of the same Satyam Brahma, the Adhidevikam Sthanam is in the orb of the sun. The Adhyatmikam, this obtaining in the individual, is in the right eye. This is what is explained here. Yaschayati. Yaschayam Adhyatmam Yoyam Dakshine Akshan Akshane Purushaha Cha Shabdat Sacha Satyam Brahma Iti Sambandha. Yascha ayam. Again, yahayam dakshine akshan purushaha. Yaschayam adhyatmam, at the level of individual. Yoyam dakshine akshan purushaha, the purusha, the being, the conscious being, obtaining the right eye. And yaschayam cha shabdat saha satyam brahma. Same satyam brahma obtains as a being in the right eye in the individual, the one who obtains in the orb of the sun at the divine level. Then says Anandgiri, Pradesha Bhedavartinoho Sthana Bhedena Bhedam Shankitva Pariharati Tau Etavidi. So Pradesha Bhedavartinoho, footnote number 5, Pradesha Ityadi, Pradesha Sthanam Cha Akshyaditya Mandala Rupe Bodhye. So now we are told that this Satyam Brahma obtains in two places. He obtains in the orb of the sun as well as he obtains in the right eye. And so, Pradesha Bhedavartinoho. So this one obtaining in these two Pradesha, these two places. Sthana Bhedena. And so, since the sthana of the place is different, Bhedam Shankayitva, footnote number 6, Bhedamidi, Upasyayoho, thinking that maybe two different entities are there, the entity obtaining in the orb of the sun is different, the entity obtaining in the right eye is different, and therefore, Bhedam Shankitva. So, footnote number 7, Upasya Bhedat, Upasanam Bhidyeda, iti Shankitu Vashaya. So two different locations are there, the orb of the sun and the right eye. And therefore somebody may think that two different beings are involved. Therefore somebody may think that two different upasanas or two different meditations are involved. Shankitva pariharti, that in fact is the same being obtaining the two places, and therefore we are not talking of two different entities, nor are we talking about two different upasanas. Iti pariharati. Same thing footnote wise, aditya akshisthana bhedat devata bhede dhyanam bhidyate iti. So then the two sthanas are given, two locations are given, maybe two different devatas are there, so that is not taveti. Again footnote number 9, taveti. Iti again. So taveti iti. So taveti is the Anand gaze. So taveti iti is the footnote here. तथा च वस्तुतः एकस्यैव सूत्रात्मनः स्थानद्वये अवस्थानात् तौ अभिन्नौ एव इत्यर्थः. तथा च वस्तुतः, and therefore in reality एकस्यैव सूत्रात्मनः, the same सूत्रात्मा हिरण्यगर्भ, स्थानद्वये अवस्थानात्, same Hiranyagarbha now obtains in these two locations, in the orb of the sun as well as the individual being in the right eye. So abhinna, therefore the devatas obtaining these two places are non-different, they are one alone. Sthanamatra bhedattu bhedah aupadika. Then why are there two locations? Aupadika bhedah. Same Hiranyagarbha identified the individual obtains in the right eye, identified the total obtains in the orb of the sun. This is how. So upadika bhedah iti. So going to the Bhashya says, Tau etau adityakshistau purushau ekasya satyasya brahmanah samsthana visheshau yasmat tasmat anyonyasmin itaretarasmin aditya chakshushe chakshusha aditya pratisthitau. So Shruti herself resolves this doubt that is not so, because both of them are one, because they find a correspondence between both of them. Tau etau aditya akshistau purushau. This conscious beings obtaining in the aditya, in the sun, orb of the sun, as well as the right eye, purushau ekasya satyasya brahmana samsthana visheshau. So, samsthana vishesha, akrita vishesha. So, both of them, though these beings are nothing but the akrita vishesha, different forms of the same Satya Brahma, not that two different entities obtained there. Yasmat, since that is so, tasmat, therefore, anyonyasmin, itaretarasmin, aditya. So, therefore, anyonyasmin pratishtitau. Each one rests on the other, or both rest on each other. How? So, itare anyonasmin, itare tasmin, aditya chakshushe. So, aditya chakshushe, chakshusha aditya. So, the solar one, solar being is resting in the eyes, or on the ocular being chakshusha purusha. So ocular being. That is a solar being, ocular being. So, the solar one rests on the ocular rests on the solar, chakshusha aditya pratishtitau. So being obtaining in the sun rests on the being obtaining the eyes, and being obtaining the right eye rests on the being obtaining the sun. This is how anyonyasmin pratishtitau. Both of them rest on each other. Why is it so? Vashyakara says, Adhyatma adhidevatayoho anyonya upakarya upakarakatvat. Why do you say that each one rests on the other? Because adhyatma adhidevatayoho, both of them enjoy a certain relationship. What's the relationship? Upakari anyonya upakari upakarakatvat. They enjoy a relationship of each one being helpful to other and being helped by the other. So each one is Upakarya, the one who is helped. Upakaraka, one who helps. Each one helps the other and is being helped by the other. Therefore we say that both of them are the expressions of the same principle and not too different. Then Anandagiri says, Anyonyam upakari upakarakattvena anyonyasmin pratishthitatvam prashnapurukam prakatayati. That both they enjoy this relationship of helping and being helpful. Therefore, anyonyasmin pratishthitat, therefore each one rests on the other. How is it so? Prashnapurukam prakatayati. So preceded by a question, Bhashyakara explains that how this is so. Or the Shruti herself explains. Katham pratisthitau iti uchyate. So how each one rests on the other, that is being stated by the Shruti herself. Rashmibhi prakashena anugraham kuruvan eshah adityah asmin chakshushe adhyatme pratisthitah ayam cha chakshushah pranahi adityam anugrunan amushmin aditye adhidaive pratisthitah. So how are they resting on each other? Rashmibhi prakashena anugraham kuruvan. So upakaram kuruvan. So the sun actually supports or helps the being obtaining the right eye by his rashmi, by his rays, by his light. Thus aditya asmin chakshushe adhyatme pratishtita. In that manner we say that the being obtaining the solar orb, the solar being rests on the being obtaining the right eye. Ayamcha, this one also. Chakshusha pranahi adityam anugrannan. And prana means the sense organs. So this being obtaining the right eye, this conscious being also, by the sense organs, meaning by the perception of the eyes, amushmin aditya adhideve pratishtitah. That's how he obtains in the solar being. So says Anvi, pranahi chakshuradivi indriyahi tiyavat. By prana we should understand here the sense organs of perception. Anugrunnan. So aditya pratishtitah anugrunnan aditya mandalatmanam prakashan nityartha. Anugrunnan aditya mandalatmanam prakashan. So eyes also, they illuminate the sun, in the sense that eyes are again the consciousness. So consciousness riding on the mind and then functioning through the eyes illumine the sun. And that's how they help the sun, and the sun by his light help the eyes, one being obtaining the eye, to be able to perform his functions. Anyway, here this footnote number, what is it? 6 here, footnote number 6. Prakasha nityartha iti. So prakasha nityartha iti. So this is simple, of course, that the being obtaining the right eye illumines the sun by the consciousness, and that's how helps him. Or yadva chakshuradini indriyani karanaswaminam bhoktaram upanayanti. Or we can say that all these chakshuradini indriyani, all the sense organs beginning from eyes, karanaswaminam bhoktaram upanayanti, all of them bring the gift of the knowledge to the bhokta, to the individual self here, to the Atma. Such a adrushta dvara adityam utpadayati. So how these eyes also create the sun? So eyes bring the knowledge to the bhokta, to the individual. This individual performs the action, and through the adrushta, through the result of the action, he creates the whole universe, including the sun. Let's explain. Tasacha Chakshusasya tatra avasthanokti iti shesha. And therefore, it is said that the Chakshusha Purusha has rests in the Aditya. What is meant by that is explained. Indriyani karanaswaminam atmanam bhoktaram upanayanti. This is what was said. Indriyani chakshuradini indriyani karanaswaminam meaning atmanam bhoktaram upanayanti. Means what? Janayanti. Swasanidhyena bhoktritvam prapayanti. They make this atma bhokta. So they create the bhokta. The idea is that they bring all kinds of bhoga. All kinds of perceptions they bring, and that's how this Atma, on account of identification with the organs of perception, becomes a bhokta. So Atma in identification with the organs of action becomes karta, and by identification with action organs of perception becomes bhokta. So in a way this indriyani, the organs of perception, by bringing the gift in the form of different perceptions, make this Atma bhokta, and that's how they create bhoktrutvam. They create a bhokta. So Atma the bhokta is made bhokta, and that's how it is said, upanayanti, janayanti, susanidhyena bhoktrutvam prapayanti, and so this Atma becomes a bhokta. Otherwise nothing would have happened. If Atma remained the Atma, no creation would have been necessary, but Atma becomes a bhokta. Such a bhogan abhilashyan, because he has become bhokta, therefore he desires bhoga or experiences. Etehi indriyehi yagadidvara adrushtam nishpadayati. So in order to fulfill his desire for various experiences, he performs different yagas with the help of the same sense organs of action and perception. Adrushtam nishpadayati, and creates adrushta, meaning the subtle effect of the yaga. Tenacha suryotpadaha, and that's how the whole universe was created. The Surya also is created. In that sense, you can say that the sense organs create sun. Bhoktruvarga nivartita adrushtakaryattvat suryadi srishte. Surya means the whole srishti. So, adrushtakaryattvat, the whole srishti is said to be the product of the adrushta, the karma phala. Adrushta means karma phala. Bhoktruvarga nivartita. All these bhoktas perform the various actions which produce what we call karma phala, which is in the form of the adrushta, and which gives rise to the creation. That is how you can say that these sense organs also create the sun. They create the need, that's all it is. You see, they make this fellow bhokta, and by making bhokta, they make him needy. Therefore then he also has to fulfill needs. For that he has to perform actions. When you perform action, whole paraphernalia is required, because to fulfill one need, you need the whole universe. To fulfill one single need, you require the whole universe, beginning with the Surya. That's how this fellow is made bhokta, is made needy, and then they help him perform action also. So bringing in different gifts, they create him in need, create in him the need for experiences, and then also help him through the organs of action by performing yagas, by creating karma phala, and then they create the whole universe. This is the way of looking at it. The idea is how there is the correspondence between the individual and total, that there is no isolation at all, how everything is interconnected. And thus, if you two totally unconnected things also can be found to have some kind of unseen interconnection, which normally we may not recognize, but someday we may recognize, So yesterday somebody pointed out to me that, Swamiji, when you look at all the buildings that have fallen down in Ahmedabad, you can see all of them are in some line, So you never know that this building here in Paladi and some building in Maninagar and some, what is the connection, Some connection is there, all of them may have fallen on the same crest, on the same valley, or whatever it is, or something or the other. You never know how things are connected. So how connections are there, everything is connected to everything else in some way or the other. It's a matter of our discovering that connection. And then we can see how everybody comes together, These fellows who never had the need to talk to each other, not that they did not talk to each other, but there was no need. Everybody is so preoccupied with their own life that there is no need, to talk to each other, worry about each other. But then all of them were placed in a situation where each one needed the other. Everybody became needy, really. Otherwise people were independent, but here you became needy all of a sudden, and you came down in a tent. From a 30 lakh or 40 lakh apartment, you came down to a tent. And the fellow from 2 lakh apartment also came to the same tent, and that's how there was a leveling. So how the earthquake became a great leveler, and everybody was placed in the same situation. Good, bad or indifferent, but this is what it is. And then you can see how everybody is connected. Everybody is on the same platform. Everybody in the same boat, whatever. And that's how maybe these things happen to tell us how ultimately all the differences are so superfluous. And ultimately everybody rests on the same basic necessities. And therefore everybody derives their basic necessities from the same thing, that we should recognize there is no higher and no lower and no big and no small. It may be so in a superfluous level, but ultimately everybody is the same basic, fundamental, needy, helpless individual. That's what everybody is. Nothing wrong in it. That's what it is. We need not feel frustrated about it, but the thing is, we should recognize this. Then a lot of our ego and arrogance will go away. We'll become simple human beings, and we'll learn how to relate to God, how to relate to life, and how to relate to God. So Mahatma Gandhi used to say that, don't create fences between the neighbors, bring down the fences. So if I do something, I create fences, bigger and bigger fences, bigger and bigger walls. Don't do that. Bring down the fences, Anyway, that was his way of saying, find a common ground, But anyway, the idea is that the whole universe is one. Even though we strive hard to create differences, that's what we do. But we feel that's where our security is, In creating differences and distinguishing myself from others, I feel a sense of security, but that just falls down because that very same distinction becomes such a tremendous burden to me, Anyway, so all the upasanas, meditations are meant ultimately to see one harmony or one connection obtaining in apparently diverse looking things. Otherwise, what's the connection between Surya and myself? Apparently there is no connection. But the connection is that we are in fact one alone. Because upakari, upakaraka. If one is upakaraka, other is upakari all the time, there is one is helping, other is helped all the time, then they are not one. But when each one is helping and each one is helped, then they are one. And therefore the individual helps the whole universe helps him. So here Aditya stands for the totality. Since mind cannot comprehend the totality, therefore sun represents the totality. We said the totality of all the forms is there in the sun. And therefore totality, that is, and individuality. So God has these two expressions. Satyam Brahma has two expressions, individual and total. And the correspondence between the two, that's how a unity obtains. So even in the upasanas also we find the same principle. Bhashyakara would always say that upasana meditations presented by Upanishads also are only on Param Brahma. Except that on Param Brahma then you superimpose some attributes. But with attributes also you meditate upon the same principle. The unity obtaining in the diversity. And that is how this kind of meditations become the preparation for knowledge of unity. To see, in the beginning, you have the bhavana, you have the attitude of that oneness, ultimately you can see the oneness that is obtaining. So the last line in the footnote says, Evam karanatvena chakshusasya aditye avasthanokdihiti tadartha. It's a huge explanation of prakashayan, So, evam in this manner, karanatvena, by becoming karanam, how the chakshu or chakshusha purusha becomes the cause of aditya. And so, that chakshu, that aditya, supports his eyes and makes them function, that is easy to see. How the eyes in fact support the sun is not easy to see. That's why this long connection was shown. How? The eyes, the sense organs, by bringing the various experiences, make the Atma a bhokta, experiencer, and then he wants experiences, So same eyes help him to perform the yaga, create the Adrushta and create the Surya. And that is how they become the Karanam. Evam Karanatvena Chakshusasya Aditye Avasthanukte iti tadartha. So Anugranan meaning Aditya Mandalam Atmanam Prakashan ityartha.